Hey guys, it's Tomei from Good to Meet You. Welcome back to my channel. I decided to do a little vloggy vlog catch up today because we are in Trope Bookshop, which is now a part-time gig of mine. So let's chat about it. Today we're going to be reorganizing some of the contemporary shelf because right now it's just kind of like gung-ho everywhere. Basically right now it's just like grouped by authors, sure, but it's not in alphabetical and it's a little hard to find stuff when we're trying to like pick things out for customers. So I decided to volunteer to come in today. We're closed on Mondays, and to just get through this, I'm really hoping I can get this done by 6. That's what I'm trying to leave. It's just me, so I feel like I should be able to. I'm gonna use the table in front of me and try and just get it all together. And I figured I'd share some of my faves as I pull from here, share them with you guys, and also just like catch up on why I'm even here in the first place. So let's get to it. Let's see, 27, 26 letters in the alphabet. I need sticky notes. A through H, I through P, Q through Z. So now, when I'm taking them off here, I know a little bit of where I'm gonna place them. So I'm sure a lot of you are wondering how I record scratch ended up here. Basically, I have been complaining a long time about the thing that there are a lot of perks with, oh my god. I thought I was about to be crushed. There are a lot of perks that come with this job, right? You get the PR, you get the cool opportunities to go to cool events, you get flexibility with your schedule and being able to be your own boss, and those are all wonderful qualities, right? But the thing that has really bothered me since I've become a full-time content creator is that it feels really lonely, and I feel like a lot of people don't talk about that often. And I know it's kind of funny for me to be saying this as I'm like working in the bookstore right now and there's no one here, but usually, of course, I'm working with other staff members, I'm talking to customers and stuff, and it's really fulfilled something in me that I didn't realize how much I was struggling with it until I came here and I was like, I feel at peace again, because I'm truly an extrovert. Like, I love being around people and talking to people, and especially when it's something that I'm passionate about, which is romance books. It's kind of like the best opportunity ever. So I've been talking with my therapist for some time about like, what does this look like for me to continue this as a career? Like, if I like all of these aspects of my job, and I know that's not something that is easily found in a traditional 9-to-5, like in the office type of space, like how to kind of go forward from here. And so she was suggesting finding a bookshop, finding a library, something that like I can work in where mentally I'm not going to be super taxed and too tired to do my own job, but still being fulfilled in a way that I'm getting that social interaction. And I prayed about it, and I'm not even joking when I say that this popped up the next day on Instagram, and I messaged Katie, who is the owner of Trope, and I was like, please, you have to let me do this. I love to read, I love romance books, I love talking about it. I would love to work there and also like work social if you guys needed anything, basically. I was pretty desperate. I was not trying to look cool whatsoever because I could just feel like this is where God wanted me to be. So very thankful that it all worked out. I was able to get the position. It's just a part-time gig. Depending on the week, I'm either here 2 or 3 times a week for like 4 hours at a time. And it has been so much fun. I enjoy it even more than what I thought I was going to enjoy it, because I'm able to learn myself of other books that I was not aware that even existed, talking with other book lovers who come into the store. I think specifically because if you're coming into a romance bookstore, it's very rare that you're gonna find the same person who's like, oh, I'm just strolling by the street and I wanna go like in the bookstore for vibes type of thing. Like, I think if you're coming here, you're already like you love to read, or you know exactly kind of what you're looking for, but you might want more recommendations on things that are similar, or you might be new to romance, but you know that you like the genre. So there's a lot better of a stepping off point that there is than getting like with another type of bookstore, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Anyway, so I've only been here for a few weeks now, but I really enjoy it. And again, there was this opportunity for me to reorganize, and as the chick who with ADHD getting to hyperfixate on something, absolutely, yes. Where can I sign up and do it? So that's why I'm here. Doing this, figured I can vlog about it, and then also like just be singing Hamilton to myself as I'm trying to get this all together. So that is my goal for today. And look, I feel like it's going pretty well so far. A couple of the books I've taken down. The Love Lyric is on my list. I have read The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest, and this is all like an interconnected standalone series. With this and The Neighbor Favor, they're all sisters, all named after flowers, and I've heard that this one is very, very good. So that's 100% on my list. I read When I Think of You as part of my own romance book club this year. Enjoyed it. This was the author's debut novel, and I remember thinking like, I could kind of feel that it was the author's debut novel, but in the sense that it was cute and I knew it could be better, and that I was excited to see what she does next. So the fact that No Ordinary Love is getting all of this love out there, I'm very, very happy for her, and I'm excited to read this one too. 100% on my TBR. Let's see here. The Friend Zone. This was, I think, the first book that I read by Abby Jimenez, and you know, God is good, because if I had read this and immediately stopped reading her other books, I would not have been able to see the magic of the Part of Your World series. But if this is the first entry for you for Abby Jimenez and you're like, I don't like this author, please don't let this stop you. I felt like there was a lot of like weird misogyny in here, internalized misogyny by the FMC, and I didn't like the handling of the plot of like infertility. It was just not for me, babes. So I picked up Part of Your World when it first came out, and I was like, I'll give her one more shot, because everyone says they love Abby Jimenez. Like, what is it with this lady? This is, to this day, one of my favorite romance books of all time, and what I always suggest to people, because it's just nice warm hug, feels very rom-com, feels very almost Hallmarky, but honestly not as cliche, because I feel like the problems that the FMC goes through are unlike what I've seen before. She's just recently out of a marriage where her husband was abusive, not in the sense of physical or verbal per se, but like mentally, of just a lot of weird gaslighting things and being very, very toxic in a type of situation that I don't really see is talked about as often. And I think it helps give some validity to some women who are like, is it worth leaving this man over this? And it's like, absolutely, if they're playing all these games with you. And then having her find Daniel, who is like from a small town, she's a doctor, so having them kind of like come together from two separate worlds, chef's kiss. Yours Truly is the second in that series. I loved this up until like 90%. It was still very highly rated for me, but Just for the Summer, I think, is hands down my favorite from the trio. It's heavy though, with also what the FMC goes through here. She has a lot of like mommy issues, abandonment issues. She's a nurse. She falls for a man named Justin, who she meets through Reddit, which is, I thought, was super cute and unique. And they decide to give it a summer in Minnesota to see like if their relationship will work out. And these are all interconnected. However, please start with Part of Your World and work your way through, because there's some things that are revealed in this book that the payoff is not there unless you start with this one. So 100% do this, then Yours Truly, then Just for the Summer. Say You Remember Me just came out. I have read it already. You know, it was not my favorite. It was definitely more of an enjoyable book to me than The Friend Zone, but it was some heavy topics. There was a lot of talk about the FMC's grandmother has dementia, and it was either her grandmother or no, it was her mother, and it was very, very difficult for me to read, and I've never even had to deal with that personally. Even though my grandmother did have Alzheimer's, she was living in Nigeria at the time, so I wasn't seeing the day-to-day decline of her mental capabilities, and it was just very hard, I think, to read and go see like what they were going through. And I felt like it didn't leave a lot of room for the romance part. So story-wise, it was very beautiful, but not something that I feel like I would reread as like a, oh my gosh, I love this book type of thing. And when it comes to my romances that I love and say like 5 stars absolutely and buy and put on my own shelf, that's really what I want to feel. So that one was not giving it for me. I've read some Elsie Silver. Love Elsie Silver. She's a great cowboy time. I just don't know if I've ever read a cowboy romance and been like, this is something I can read time and time again. I think they struggle to have some depth. However, there is one author, and I wish we had some more of her books, but I think we're sold out because she just had a recent book, and she's part of our like Trope Book Club book pick for the month, Jessica Peterson. I've really enjoyed her stuff. They're also like nice and light, but I do feel like there's some depth with those as well that I really enjoy. And I don't know if I've read all of Elsie Silver's things, so I shouldn't knock it till I try them all. But I would still, even though like some of her other ones I've read, I've given like a 3.5, a 3.75. So when it's in that range, I don't really mind giving it another go and trying and seeing what else, because I enjoyed it, sure. Not every book has to be 5 stars. Some can be a little popcorn entertainment book, and that's okay. Same with Lila Sage. But these covers slap. Like, come on. I really enjoy, and it's like a ranch. And it's funny that this one is not as a giving ranch, no dressing, but I don't know. Another fun time for sure. Now you can kind of probably see above me it says Tommy's Choice, and that's because I was highlighting my girl Candy Ryan, because again, like I said, I love my romance books to have some thorough plot, and the girl is plotting. Let me just say that. Like, Before I Let Go, beautiful story, second chance romance, where the entire series is called the Skyland series, and it's an interconnected standalone situation where it's 3 friends based in Atlanta, and they're all like professional women in their early 40s. Some of them married, some of them single, what have you. But in Before I Let Go, she had gotten divorced from her husband, Josiah. I think her name was Yasmin. And they had suffered from like infertility struggles, pregnancy loss, and their marriage, I think, dissolved from the stress of it. And so it's them trying to find their ways back to each other, because the love was there. And it's just heartbreaking, but I thought it was beautifully done. And the second book, This Could Be Us, which, let me see if I have one. I think I just took it off the shelf. Yes, This Could Be Us is my favorite from the trio. I'll show the other one that comes out in a second soon. Because there's mess in here, child. There's some mess. I always describe it as like a Tyler Perry movie at the beginning, where you're like, what the heck is happening here? But their story is a woman whose husband goes to prison for fraud and all this stuff against the company. And the person who led the investigation is someone she met at a party and is attracted to, and then she learns like, oh shoot, like you're the person that sent my husband to prison. And she's having to wrestle with that. She's having to wrestle with becoming a single mother and having to provide for her family now that her husband's in prison. And really just kind of refining herself outside of her marriage of like what her life looks like. And I thought like, hell yeah, that's beautiful. I think a lot of times, one, in contemporary romance, it's very rare to have women over 40 in like a popular space on a bookshelf at a bookstore, one, but two, like showing that they're deserving of love, showing that these like stories deserve the same attention and that there's an audience for them and people would like to see that as well. So I'm all about it. And then Can't Get Enough is the third one. It comes out, it'll be out by the time I post this video, but Can't Get Enough is probably my favorite billionaire romance I've ever read, because when it comes to billionaire romances, there's usually not like I keep saying the word depth, but there's not a lot of depth to it. It feels just like I'm gonna throw my money at you, kind of dark romancy, where they're kind of all jerks and they can get away with being a jerk because they're like, oh, I'm rich and I'm a CEO, and the CEO learns to love from like the one tiny female who comes into the story. But this one was like Hendrix she is her own badass like PR person on herself, and she works with a lot of celebrities out of Atlanta, has a lot of like huge clients, and she meets Mav at a client's party situation. He is the ex of one of her highest like clientele people, and so she's trying to feel like, is this a professional situation that I would have put myself in, because also mess. But again, just like, I loved it. I feel like there's so much that happens that I don't want to give away spoiler wise, but she's also child free, and like I can't tell you what that does for me as someone who is child free with my own marriage and relationship. And not to say that I don't enjoy children or that I don't and child free, I think I like saying that versus childless, because I don't find myself to be less just because I don't have children. And I would rather regret having no children than regret having them, because that affects obviously a whole other human being. And that's always been my approach to it. So to read a story of someone, of a heroine, and that the happy ending is not, and she ends up pregnant 9 months later after a wedding, I think is very validating, even though I shouldn't be looking out externally for any sorts of validation with my own life choices. But it is nice to see, and I think there's a lot of other women who would agree that they feel the same way. We've got my girl, Ali Hazelwood. The Love Hypothesis was my first introduction into Ali Hazelwood, and I would highly agree that's where you should start. It is a cutie patootie novel of a book. All of Ali Hazelwood's stuff is women in STEM in some sort of capacity. The first was like was she in grad school? I can't remember, but basically she was helping, it was like a fake dating trope where she was helping a guy be able to be up for a position because he wanted to show that he was like stable and would be staying here for a long period of time, and she wanted to not have people keep asking her if she was dating someone, so it worked out for them. I thought, and a lot of Ali Hazelwood, if you didn't know, she started off as like a fanfic writer, and did a lot of like Reylo fanfics, which is Rey from Star Wars actually, and then Kylo Ren. And so it's kind of, all of her books give like this grumpy man thing with like a sunshiny woman for the most part. There's some change in between there, but Love Hypothesis is the OG. Love on the Brain I didn't enjoy because I felt like it was the exact same story as the Love Hypothesis, but worse. And it felt a little more cringe to me. So that's just me. Not in Love. Don't listen to them when they say that. One second. Deep End came out most recently, but do not listen to them when they say this is their spiciest book. That's a lie. A lie from the pit of hell, because it's only spicy in the sense that they talk about sex openly, but I really felt like Not in Love was her picante story, and these probably rival each other in terms of a romantic connection, because I felt like there was none. But I enjoyed this more. Deep End is probably closer to the bottom of my list, but above Love on the Brain for me. So yeah, Love on the Brain, Deep End, Check and Mate, Not in Love, Love Hypothesis, and tragically I think we're out of my favorite Ali Hazelwood book, which is Love Theoretically. I can read that hands down consistently over and over and over again, because it's, I think, all of the things that she does well, which is small lady, big man, women in STEM, a grumpy sunshine situation, some miscommunication there where people are like trying to hold back feelings. And I also really enjoy a capable man, and by that I mean someone who's not dumb and helps out. And when they see that you're drowning, they're like, how can I help you? How can I make it better? How can I like just put you in a little cocoon and like stroke your hair and tell you they're there? And I think that's because I get overwhelmed super easily, and that's what my husband does for me. I know that's right. So when I see it in these stories, I feel like, oh, it's cute. Maybe it's a little narcissistic now that I think about it. Oh well. I don't know if you can see, but it's definitely raining hard outside, so hopefully by the time I leave it's not too crazy so I don't get completely obliterated. But I did bring an umbrella, thankfully. But it's perfect bookshop weather, I think. Honestly, this is a great example of me, like why I enjoy working in this bookstore now in terms of like, from like a content perspective, but also life. There's an older woman, I swear she was like in her late 60s, early 70s. And she comes in with like a legal pad of notes. And she was asking, like went through her list and she was like, do you have Catherine Cowell's books here? I had never heard of this woman in my life. And to be fair, some people do come in here and they're asking about books and I'm like, well, is it a romance book? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, we're a romance only bookstore, so like that's all we're gonna have. And so I thought that was what the situation was, and she was like, no, she's a romance author. I looked her up and I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like obviously she has a huge backlog. I did not know. And so it's like, even though I read over 100 books a year, a lot of them in contemporary romance, the fact that I'd never heard of this author, and that there was someone who came in like looking for her books with her little list, that's just like a great learning opportunity for me. So I was able to learn more about her, what type of books that she has, and also just knowing to like be able to help future customers and stuff going forward. But yeah, I thought it was just like super shocking. It was also super cute though with her like legal pad of stuff, that she wrote down every single book she's ever read and kept it on the notepad. And I tried to convince her to look into a Goodreads, a Storygraph, a Fable. And she was like, no, that's too complicated. And I'm like, honestly, yeah, if you're the age range that I think you are, I didn't say this to her, obviously, but I was like, I get it. If you're comfortable with one certain thing, you keep on doing it. But I was trying to give her recommendations because she was asking for similar books to Catherine Cowell's and all this stuff. And she would have to go like flip through her list to remember if she's read it or not, or stuff like that. And it just tickled me. That was definitely one of my favorite interactions so far from working here. I'm gonna be here all day if I keep doing this, but like I have to, because the X-Files is honestly part of my personality at this point. When I read this as an art class year, I knew it was destined for greatness. Sorry, I just did the alphabet in my head to make sure I put it in the right stack. It is so cute. It's a second chance romance, and it's so funny because if you told me my favorite tropes, I don't think I realized second chance romance was there, but it truly is. It is beautifully done. I read her first book that was called You with a View. It was like a cute moment. It wasn't second chance romance, but they did know each other as like rivals in high school, re-met because they found out their grandparents used to know each other, and went on like a summer trip for other reasons that I don't really want to get into right now. But the X-Files, they dated while they were friends through high school, dated while they were in college, broke up after college because they moved to New York, and like a lot of stress in life happened, and I think they were just growing as adults where they didn't fit together anymore. They come back together because their mutual best friend was getting married, and they were both maids of honors, best men situation thing. And I could not say enough good words about this. It was set in like wine Valley, Napa Valley, wine country in California, and I just really loved the descriptions of it all. It was beautiful, and the love story that is unveiled throughout the story. Oh, like the ending. The girls who know, but like I can't get over it. I will probably read it once a year until the day that I die. So, is what it is. Promise Me Sunshine was one of my 5 stars for the year, along with First Time Caller, that I think we're now out of because I think I sold the last one this week. Something else that I really enjoy about this bookstore, and I love to give my props to Katie on, is that she stocks with a lot of indie authors, and so a lot of, especially romance, I feel like more recently has been these smaller time authors. And so for people who love romance to come in and see a diverse set of authors, representation, and the things that like you're not going to see on a Barnes & Noble or like other bookstore is really fun to see them get all excited about that. And I think it's like really important work, especially with current administration things and life in general, that honestly I feel like reading romance is political. Reading in general is political. It's very cool. It's very cool to be able to be part of something that love and truly believe in. The funniest part is probably when people come in and are gushing about books that they absolutely love, that I thought was some of like the worst writing I'd ever come across. And I mean, I don't want to yuck their yum. I don't like to do that for anyone with reading, because I'm like, hey, at least you're reading. And I think like different strokes, different folks. Like I know that there are things that I've enjoyed that are not for everyone, like Kiss of the Basilisk. Like, one, I'm not going to suggest that to everyone, and two, I understand the concerns that people have with it, that it's not the most highbrow of writing, right? But I had a great time and I enjoyed myself, and that's all that matters. So I like to do that for other customers and stuff that come in. I'm like, hey, I'm glad you loved it, and I ask them like what they liked about it, and then I'll try and like not steer them away from that author, but like also give them some other recs that I think are along in line with that, because that's the job, but also that's how I learn too of other people to read, because like I said earlier with my Abby Jimenez situation, like I would hate if I gave up and then I was never exposed to some of her other things and missed out on them. So if they're like, oh, I read this and then I read that and enjoyed it, like you should try this, hey, I'm all for it. Let me learn something too. Now that GBBL is out, which I love that we're all calling it Great BBL. It's so funny to me, like, whatever. I think I'm gonna do a video on ranking all of my Emily Henry faves, because I could do a whole video on Emily Henry. Christina Lauren, their backlog is ridiculous. I also thought that I would do a video one day ranking all Christina Lauren books. I'm still working my way through that, so who can know? But right now, Love in Other Words and The Paradise Problem would probably be my two favorite Christina Lauren books. I absolutely love them. This one, like start to finish. Same with this, but if you've read it, you know that there's like a ending that's controversial. But this was just like, I felt like it was beautiful as I was reading it. Like, this is another second chance romance, go figure, friendship, or like childhood lovers to friends, or childhood friends to lovers, to broken up, to getting back and seeing each other like 10 years later, 10, 15 years later. And then this one is a fake dating situation where they get married. So I guess marriage of convenience, I don't even know. It was marriage of convenience so that they could have like free housing on campus. And then we're supposed to get divorced after college / grad school. Forgot to actually really get divorced. And so they were still legally married. And they end up having to go to like his sister's wedding. And he's like super rich. He's like the son of a grocery titan. And their wedding is like based out in the Pacific Ocean. So it's kind of like Crazy Rich Asian-y vibe / Succession. But with a lot of comedic moments that I thoroughly enjoy. Like I laughed a lot reading that book. So I love to recommend it to people. It also has a lot of great just summer vibes because of the setting. So I think it works great for a lot of people. We're definitely gonna have an issue. I can already see on my table, I don't know if you can see it really well, but this side, my A through H, I believe, is stacked. So I'm probably gonna have to do not H, but cut it back somehow. This Crash Landing book, if you notice that we have a lot, I don't know how this will be edited, so I'm not even sure if you've even seen this yet, but this is by a local Charlotte author, and we had an event here in the store where she came and promoted her book, and I actually just got it in through the library, so I'm excited to be reading it. I love to see local authors. Jessica Peterson that I shared earlier, who does the cowboy romance, she's also local to this area. So it's fun to see. Very, very fun to see. Yep. Man, how am I gonna... Oh, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I don't know how. Guys! Only one shelf. Okay, not shelf, but section left, and then we can start putting stuff back on. Why am I so jumpy, y'all? My husband loves to make fun of me for that. Like, I can know he's in the house, and I will still go, whoa! Every time. This is another one where I'm scarred by the first book that I'm like, do I give her another chance? I think I can. But the one she wrote, like Dating Dr. Dill, and the man in that book named his, you know, and not like even something vulgar. He named it like Charlie. The woman was too stunned to speak. As you can see, I'm still mind blown over it. So let me know if this is better than Dating Dr. Dill. It tastes like Shakar, because I do want to give her another chance, and also like shout out to my brown authors. Wait, this is how I learned these are two separate authors? But it's the same series? What does that mean? I need to look into this. If someone understands, let me know. Even though I've been very into these covers, that I can sell these just from the cover alone, because yeah, wouldn't you want this on your bookshelf? Like, I know I would. Hot Fireman, absolutely. Oh, wait, this is interesting. This book, Even If the Sky Is Falling, has 6 authors, and a lot of them are ones that I've read. Denise Williams, Cherish Reed, Farrah Heron, Sarah Smith, Taj McCoy, Lane Clark, edited by Taj McCoy. Even If the Sky Is Falling. Oh, this is a collection of interconnected multicultural stories by acclaimed authors, so it's not one story. Oh, how nice. 6 couples, friends, exes, crushes, and rivals must take shelter when living in an international... No, when an international warning siren accidentally goes off, convincing everyone that a meteor shower may just be the end of the life as they know it, 6 couples, friends, exes, crushes, and rivals must take shelter. Inhibitions are abandoned, confessions are made, and love blossoms. But what happens when the world doesn't end? Filled with humor, heat, and hope, this riveting collection of interconnected multicultural stories by acclaimed authors that I mentioned before beautifully explores the secrets we carry with us and the joy we discover when we let go and reach for the stars. So the stories are 2 NASA specialist exes forced to reunite under pressure, competing food stall owners face no escape from each other or their shared past, 2 law students learn just how strongly opposites attract between the library stacks, a pair of literature lovers confront long-held feelings under the covers of a bookstore bunker, a songwriter discovers her newly hired contractor hits all the right notes. Oh, trapped on campus, former college rivals entertain their reignited spark. This is fun. I'm definitely going to add this to my TBR. This is really cool that they did something like this and like put it together. That being said, now I'm like, I don't know what to... I think maybe I'll put it under McCoy because it's edited by Taj McCoy, and that's the one name. So like, let's go with that. That feels right. Hannah Bonham Young, also known as HBY, because I like to say it that way, is one of my favorites. I first read hers, this is Out on a Limb. Super, super cute. Highly recommend. And it is pregnancy trope, and I don't usually like it, as I said about that earlier. But it was so cute and well done. And all of her books I describe as a warm hug, because that's just how they make me feel. The only one I didn't finish was Out of the Woods. And it's funny because like I shared about career stuff, and I read it at a time that I was still trying to figure out like what the heck do I want to do with my life in terms of shifting and like mental health wise, and that's what the FMC was going through, and I was like, this hits too close to home and not in a good way. So I was like, I'll circle back. So I'm excited to circle back to it because I've read all of her other things and really enjoy them. I'd say Out on the Limb is probably my favorite, and then Next to You, which is this one, is my second favorite so far. But I know I'm gonna probably love all the things that she does. We did it! All right, break time.
I would be self-evident that all men are created equal. And when I meet Thomas Jefferson, I'ma compel him to include women in the sequel. Work!
Y'all, I was doing so well until I realized I moved this stack over of the Hannah Bonham Youngs. So I wanted to double check that it was correct to do it by the Bonham since it's a hyphenated last name. Did not put them back in my stack of A through what was going to be H. And so now I gotta shift everything. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Honestly, I'm thankful that this is the first mistake. Even though, yes, I'm on the first iteration of this, but like I feel like I could have done a lot more, so I'm gonna be positive, but a little perturbed. Okay, my next dilemma is that I just recentered this to put the Bonham Youngs, great. Had it where I have all my Hazelwoods together here at the, definitely thought my fly was open at some point. Okay, have it here where I have all my Hazelwoods together and easy access because obviously a very popular author. But now it's gonna end up where Emily Henry is on this very top shelf. And I'm not sure how to not do that without inconveniencing every staff member who's going to have to bring out a ladder anytime someone comes in wanting Emily Henry. And we don't like to put books directly behind this because when someone tries to get it, they'll pop off. So there's a lot of things happening here. I'm gonna think of this while I get something to dust. I feel so much better because I'm 5'3", so if I can just like easily grab, this is good. This is real good. Oh my gosh, I probably look super sweaty. I had to charge my phone in between there when I was still finishing the last part. So you didn't see me finish the last shelf. But we did it! We did it. It looks so good. A little longer than I thought it was going to take, but not too shabby, honestly. I just have to move all of the ones that I had from Sport Tournaments back here, and then I'm good. I'll be interested to see how they think it looks. I'm not a shelf queen, like I'm not necessarily the best with aesthetics, so they'll probably move some stuff around, but like the overall nature of it is here. So hopefully they like it because I enjoy how it turned out. I don't have time to do a bookstore tour today, but I'll try and do one next time I'm working and we have some like dead time or something like that. But thank you guys for watching all of this. And hopefully I will see you soon, either here on YouTube or maybe in the store. Bye-bye.